All right, 新年快乐. This year, 2019, is the year to just be strong, lean, mean, and in charge of your life. So I want to start off by saying 新年快乐,恭喜发财, which means like a congratulations, you beat the monster. And there's a whole Chinese story behind Chinese New Year's, and maybe I'll drop me a line or drop me a comment and maybe I'll share it with you, okay? Tonight I am going to talk about eating. We all know that in life hard times come, and whether it's like a death in the family, or you've had an accident or an injury, it just or like a million things all just piling up and you're overwhelmed, you need to take a break. I'm not so incompassionate, even though I'm really fiery in some of my videos, that I don't have like zero compassion when you do need to take a break and some self-care, okay? So the one thing that I really want to stress that is going to save you is your eating. Now, back in my early 30s, when I first started my track to health and wellness, one thing I did was I just started really simple. I did not want to get overwhelmed or get really disappointed if I wasn't getting results. And so I just simply started with eating right, okay? I gave myself a good 2.5, 3 weeks just for my body to adjust, because, that's when you deplete your body and you go clean off of sugar, and you take out all the garbage, and you don't want to do all that kind of stuff all at once, because it's too much of a shock, okay? And then you have a tendency to turn around and binge, okay? So I'm going to open up my little black book, and so just so everyone knows, a disclaimer real quick, that I am not a spokesperson for this program. In fact, this program's not even really around anymore, which is why I want to share with you as much detail as I can. Because you can't even find this online. You can't, you do a search and you're not going to find the All-American 6-Week Slim Down. They've changed the formula over the years so many times that I don't know, I just feel like it's probably not as effective, but hey, that's just me. So anyways, when you first do the Michael Thurman 6-Week Slim Down, and remember, I'm not a spokesperson, this was just the one program that doesn't use any pills, shakes, there's no prepackaged meals like other companies. This is you going to the grocery store, you buying the food, and you eating the foods that your particular chemical makeup, your blueprint tells you is going to help you to burn the most fat, okay? And so however much you want to stray from that, and how much you want to slow down your results, that's completely up to you, okay? So you start off by blueprinting. And yeah, this is what my body used to look like, man. You're talking, a little bit of belly, a little bit of butt, some thighs, no thigh gap. Yeah, that was me. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect now. Hey, I'm 48, but I feel like I look pretty dang good for my age, and, considering that I'm starting to go down the rabbit hole of menopause and I'm starting to see little changes. So what they do is they ask you some very scientific questions, like when you first get up in the morning, are you just starving, or does it take you a long time to 10 o'clock before you even feel hungry? These kinds of things matter. And so they found that there are certain people with certain metabolic or metabolism types that food is going to affect you in a certain way, okay? So they have made what is called a fast track guide, okay? Now, when you become a Patreon member, I have copies of these, if for a small donation, if you want to see a copy of, what this looks like. I'm not selling it or anything, because that could really get you in trouble. But, if you want copies of these, really, 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 really bad or whatever, you think it's for you, just message me, drop me a comment. I'll work something out, okay? So anyways, you fall into either A, B, C, or D, these body type categories. B's are the most common. So I went back and I took that blueprinting quiz over and over, answering the questions at completely polar opposite, blah, blah. And you know what? I still, no matter what I did, I was a body type B. So body type B's, we can put on weight if we're lazy. but we can also take it off rather easily as well. So we're that happy medium, which oddly enough makes sense because I am a Libra. I've always been sort of in the right in the happy middle. You know, of course, to me as a kid growing up, I thought that was ordinary. I wanted to be special. You know, I want to stand out, be the top A in the class or the most artistic or whatever. Now I realize that when it comes to career and job and things of that nature, being the happy middle is really where you want to be, because you slip under the boss's radar. They don't notice you when they're out to fire somebody, and you know, you also get along well with everyone, and everybody usually likes you. One job, I got there about a week before Christmas, and it was the Christmas company party. I didn't even really meet anybody yet. I'd only been there maybe a day. Everybody, and then like as soon as I walked in the room, everybody just started fighting about who I was gonna sit next to. I guess they all heard about me and my skills or whatever. So, you know, for those of you that are like those middle type people, be happy. It's a good thing, you know. And on a side note, you know, your mental and your emotional well-being affects the body. Mind-body connection, friendly reminder. So, I am a body type B, and there is a list of foods that is the best for your body. So what I want to do is I want to just briefly kind of gloss over the eating plan. So for breakfast, according to, you know, you can have like an easy quick breakfast, then you can have a gourmet breakfast, and then you can have just like a rapid results, bare bones, don't got time to eat, but you don't want to do pills, shakes, or any garbage crap. So I'm going to start with the rapid results if you think you can handle it. And so for me, I can't even eat this much. I mean, they give you way more than you can handle, which is great because I love food. I love to eat. So the rapid results breakfast is actually 3 egg whites, 1 cup of greens, like, you know, fill up a cup of, you know, like salad, celery, you know, bok choy, you know, leafy greens, or you can have a whole half of a grapefruit. And grapefruits are pretty big, okay? If you want to do the gourmet breakfast, you can do a spring omelet, which like has mushrooms, green peppers, onions, fresh basil, you know, mixed veggies in, you know, just like a regular omelet without the egg yolk. It's an egg white omelet, and let me tell you, you don't even miss it. You don't miss the egg yolk. You know, and I used to be one of those sunny side up, you know, love the egg yolk running all over, and, you know, my toast, you know, sopping it up. Yeah, I mean, and now I look back and I realize what I thought was healthy was not healthy at all. Grilled cheese, peanut butter, oh my God, so unhealthy. But the easy breakfast, sort of the middle of the road one, this is pretty much what I do. I have 1 or 2 egg whites with a half a piece of fruit. So I'll have like half of an apple or a quarter of an apple. But if I want to, sometimes I alternate between all of these and I mix it up. And that's a major key point I want to make to you guys, is that you cannot stay the same and expect to keep losing weight. So you have to mix up your eating plan. 1 or 2 days a week, I want you to have the rapid results. 1 or 2 days a week, go ahead and have that gourmet breakfast if you have time for that. And so some of the other things that you can have besides just egg whites is you can have 2 ounces of protein A and a half a cup of fruit A, or 2 ounces of protein B and only a fourth a cup of fruit B. Certain fruits have certain amounts of sugars, and you have to really watch that with this plan. But the thing that I love about this plan is that there's no cheating. You're using food to make your body, you know, lose weight, and I've been doing it for years, and I have not had any adverse effects. My adrenal glands have not burned out. It's not been taxing my kidneys, my liver, my pancreas. I have not had any health issues because this is 100% food, natural. No pills, no shakes, no cheese of any kind. Not that I'm judging people that do that. You know, I'm sure in my 50s, when I get older and my hormones are all out of whack, I'm probably gonna need some of that then. I'm too young for that now. Ha ha ha. You know, in your 30s and your 20s, I don't want to even hear it. I just don't feel it's excusable unless you are a fitness teacher and you have to do 2 classes back to back, and then they expect you to do 2 more that night. Yeah, I totally get that. You need a shake or something, okay? But cheating just to cheat, just to look good because you want man arms or whatever, I don't respect that. Sorry, don't. So The 2 ounces of protein A. Let's look that up. Okay. And so, I mean, I pretty much have it memorized, but just in case I missed something here. You can have some fish, chicken, and turkey. The main thing for body type Bs, which is what most women fall into, is to just try to stay away from red meats, even really super lean cuts. And pork is an absolute no-go. Just like, you know, it gives you the worst gas anyways. It just rots in your system. It's really gross. And so, you know, red meat likes to sort of hang around and pollute the system. It's just easier to digest chicken, turkey, and fish. So, like, I'll have like some, and none of that Vandy Camp's breaded white cod fillets. Come on, eat your fish normal. You can have, and I never eat a piece of protein any bigger than the palm of my hand. In fact, I do like maybe this much, like almost half. And you know, the great thing about this plan is that you try to get your breakfast in by 7:30, 8 o'clock at the latest. You turn around at 10 o'clock and you have another breakfast. So before you feel like you're starving to death, you get to eat again. So it's really good, it's cohesive. So let's move on to lunch. So you want to do your same, you know, have 2 breakfasts, and you can change it up: turkey, chicken, fish, whatever you want to do. Just remember 2 ounces of the protein, and like a half a cup of fruit A and a fourth a cup of fruit B. And so, like I said, message me if you need a copy of this stuff, because it's gonna just take too long to go through the video. So by the time it's lunchtime, okay, basically all that you're doing is you're taking out the fruit, you're adding in a little bit of vegetable, and so instead of a half a cup of fruit, you're having a half a cup of carb A or B, and 1 whole cup of vegetables. Because, you know, vegetables don't even have nearly as much sugar, and you think, well, but like, if it's all about the sugar, then why don't I just eat breakfast all day? Well, there's a good reason. Certain vitamins and minerals and nutrients are found in vegetables that you're not going to get in fruit. And that's why it's important to have a whole cup of veggies. And so on this plan, Veggie A is pretty much the only vegetables listed, which almost every single, you just get it out here, almost every single kind of vegetable is a vegetable A. So let's just quickly go over some of the vegetables. Artichokes, asparagus, beets, bell peppers, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, celery, and I love salad, cucumbers, eggplant. I love eggplant, but watch that hoisin sauce full of sugar. And eggplant, it naturally tastes sweet, so you know there's some sugar in there. So kind of watch that one. Green beans too. That's another one. Kind of watch that. Any kind of greens like mustard, collard greens, turnips, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, of course, mushrooms. You can have mushrooms, snow peas. I love snow peas, but a lot of people make the mistake of dipping those in ranch dressing. So just a side note, this plan does not allow for any kind of dip or salad dressing. So what I do is I make my own with a base of soy sauce, vinegar, water, and like some lemon juice. And I put a lot of Italian herbs in it. And I don't feel deprived. I didn't jump off a cliff. I don't have like a problem, you know, going off the rails as far as like eating garbage and binging, you know. Okay, so more sprouts, like bean sprouts, summer squash, zucchini, yellow squash, love that stuff. Tomatoes. These are all the types of vegetables that you can have on this plan. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so we've got lunch covered. So let's move on to dinner. Oh, and so, wait, let me talk about the carbohydrates. Usually, I mean, there's just not a lot of carbs out there, especially for those that are gluten intolerant. So stay away from oatmeal if you can, even though there's some oatmeal that is considered gluten safe, whatever. I've found that it's best just to, you know, really limit that. But, you know, if you have no problem with gluten and wheat or any of that stuff, any grains at all, then, you know, oatmeal is listed on the list of carbs. You can have oatmeal, brown rice, white rice, and I do a mixture of both so I don't feel deprived, you know. But I try to not have just straight sticky white rice, okay? I try to make it a little healthy, and you can get some fabulous, awesome rices, red rice, brown rice, green bamboo rice, all kinds of nifty rices if you have an Asian market, okay? And yams, potatoes, just no butter, okay? Don't leave the butter out, use butter buds. You'll eventually taper off and you'll think, yeah, you know, it's such a hassle to make that stuff. I don't really need it. I just want to chug the food down so I can go get on to other things. Life is too exciting to be obsessing about whether your food tastes good or not. Potatoes, there's like 1,000 kinds of potatoes out there, and there are tons and tons of different kinds of rices. There's even like a lot of like new and upcoming grains that aren't really talked about in this program that I've found that aren't a big deal, like tabbouleh. Tabbouleh is a great grain. Couscous is a little starchy, so maybe like with some brown rice, just kind of like moderate it. Okay, quinoa, you just got to keep an eye on how many inches, you know, if things are starting to get like a little tight, maybe it's that quinoa, you know, your pants are starting to cut back into you, you know, you feel like your arms getting a little too flabby, just always be self-aware, self-monitor, and keep in mind that like if you're a woman and it's girly time, you might just be retaining some water, so keep that in mind also. There's just like 1,000 different things that can all have an influence, okay? So, yams, rice are like your all safe, you know, and potatoes are like your all safe carb. Okay, sometimes I even do this new thing, it's like called Carb Cycling, but you gotta be really careful with that, and that's a whole nother video for another time, okay? So at 3 o'clock, you're gonna wanna have another little mini meal, another little lunch, because that's right about the time where you're sitting in the office and you just wanna reach for that candy bar, or you wanna reach for that protein bar. Okay, have a whole meal. Use real food. I just can't stress it enough. It's so satisfying too to just munch on food. Shakes and, you know, by the time you eat that little protein bar, and it's like, oh my God, it's already gone. I just don't feel like mentally satisfied eating that stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like really undisciplined. I don't know. All right, so you want to do the same thing for your mid-afternoon snack, except I don't think you have any vegetables. You cut the vegetables for that particular one meal, and you just have the protein and the half a cup of carbs. Okay, but lunchtime, yeah, you want a whole cup of vegetables, but I think, you know, for your mid-afternoon, your 3 o'clock p.m. meal, you don't have, you know, a whole lot of vegetables. So it's up to you. You know, I would alternate. You know, I've done it. You know, I just kind of forget. You get busy, you forget. And it's not affected my weight loss any, but I just noticed there's a big blank on the page here. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for all these years and I haven't followed the plan quite right. Well, whatever. I still got away with it. So if you want those veggies, have them. Dinner time. Okay, so dinner time, same thing. Only dinner, you can have like 1 to 2 ounces of protein C, and that's where like the red meats and the pork and stuff come in. But let me just to be safe. Don't want to mislead you here. Let's see. Yeah, pork chop. That's a. But you know what? There's also D. Protein part D, and if you are a body type B, you don't get any protein D. That's strange because I just told you to eat fish, and well, all these years I've been having like tuna sometimes. Instead of an egg white for breakfast, I'll have some tuna. But you know, you can have yeah, you shouldn't be supposedly, you know, poke and that kind of fish. Let me just see something really quick. I know it seems like she doesn't know what she's talking about, and that's just because I've always looked at the book. But oh yeah, scallops, yeah, tuna. Okay, all that is in the protein category A or B, which is what you're supposed to have. Okay, so you can have even crab and lobster, but you know, and the fatty thing about that is when people are dipping it in butter and stuff. Okay, scallops, turkey breast, that's another protein that you can have. Egg whites, of course, we have that for, oh yeah, and fish, delicate fish, cod, flounder, haddock, orange roughy, red snapper. I have tuna, you know, just, yeah, and here it is, tuna. And of course it should be like wild caught tuna. Fish steak, like halibut, mahi-mahi, tuna, shark. One thing I did notice though is that salmon, which I love, is not listed, but I still have it once in a while. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, you gotta cut yourself some slack, right? Chicken breast home style, like barbecue chicken with, you know, watch that sauce. Chicken cacciatore, whatever the heck that is. Crab, lobster, scallops. Okay, but you get the idea. So let's get into the protein type C. Now it says 1 to 2 ounces, so don't do a full 2 ounces of protein type C, because remember what I said earlier is, you know, like that stuff sits in your system, okay? And it's also way more fattening. And if you just want to get really slender and you don't want to bulk up and get big like man arms and whatever, then stay away from the red meat, okay? But beef, like eye of round beef, roast beef. You can have like a little lean. It says lean pork chop here, okay? Pork, a lean tenderloin. You know, not a lot of fat. But yeah, like certain fishes and tofu, that's like a protein type D, and it's like we're not supposed to have that. You know, and I know a lot of people that, you know, they have D. And like milk products like yogurt, low-fat cheese, cottage cheeses, that's a no-go for us. Lamb and veal, we're not supposed to have that either. But you know what? If it's a cheat day, I say go all out. And you know what? If it's a cheat day, you can have a piece of chocolate cake for all I care. It's your cheat day. So like, you know, you want to eat the fat, eat the rich stuff. Okay, do the body type Ds. So like, so that's your dinner, okay? And you know, there's only so many millions of carbs in the world, and it's the same carbs, same vegetables listed here. So my advice is to just play back this video over and over, and then you go on my Facebook, become a follower, and you will probably see the photos for the eating. You know, this lists all the different types of foods that you can have, and the fast track cards, okay, that tell you exactly how much of each. And I've never been the type that has ever used a scale. I've never done that, and you know, just it's hassle. It's a hassle. You know, I got better things to do. So I'm not gonna go measuring out like how much is an ounce. You know, if you want to look it up online, like how many cups to ounces ratio. I believe 1 cup is like 16 ounces or something like that. Anyways, you know, Google it if you want to, if you want to be really strict about this. But I just say, you know, eat smaller meals more often and keep the protein, you know, within the inside of your hand here. And hey, I did it. I lost a lot of weight in my 30s. I got all the way back down. I lost all the weight that I wanted to in 8 weeks. You know, I did it like extra 2 weeks, okay, even though this is like the 6-week slim down plan. And then in my 40s, I lost even more, even though I was older and probably more hormonal, you know. And I did this like I was 44, so like 44, 45. I did this in my mid 40s. So, you know, and I lost even more weight. I got like way more powerful this time around, which is, I wasn't expecting that. So that's really cool. So drop your comments down below, your questions if you have any. I'll go over it again as many times as need be because I care for you. And if you want to look this up, make sure I don't drop anything here. Let me get this out. Okay, I'm gonna give you like a close-up here. You can see this. Okay, this back when Michael Thurman was alive. He, you know, R.I.P. Michael Thurman, love you. He died in a car accident, and he's no longer with us. But he worked hand in hand with a scientific company called Provida, and that's how, between his exercise program and his opinion on what was good to eat and having the laboratory science to back up his findings, they came up with this all-American 6-week slim down by Provida Labs. So I mean, you can try searching the internet. It's very super hard to find this these days, and not every program works for everybody, okay? So we all have different body types. So I wish you luck in your health and wellness plan. But above all, common sense. Common sense of just eating right and exercising. So if there ever comes a time where you get yourself hurt, or you can't make it to the gym, as long as you are eating right and not eating well. Eating well means that you probably like eating too much. Eating well is a very misconstrued word, and so, but I'm eating well. No, honey, you have to eat right. Okay, you have to eat proper, correct. Okay, so just to make that crystal clear, you have to eat right. Eating well, heck, I can eat well, yeah. Oh yeah, I can eat well. I can have pork and all kinds of garbage, but you need to eat right. And so, drop me your questions, and I'll just quit babbling at this point. So I wish you luck, and namaste. Thank you.